Well, you're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, students from McDonald County took some time yesterday to hit the town and spread a little holiday cheer.
Also, some miscommunication leads to confusion regarding the relationship between union officials and the city of Coffeyville.
Plus, it's a frigid Friday. I'll tell you how long those cold temperatures will last.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chloe Arroyo. 7 o'clock on this Friday morning.
Yes, finally Friday here in the 4 states. And Christmas just right around the corner, and then before you know it, it's going to be 2025. So
go by
you
so
take
quickly.
it all in. Take this Friday in. It's really cold out, so you might want to do that inside.
Yes.
But we'll of course talk about that a little later. But students from Southwest Missouri Elementary in McDonald County are embracing the true spirit of giving this holiday season. Now, 3rd through 5th graders took a walk down Main Street yesterday, spreading joy through Christmas carols.
KOAM's Lonnie Walton tagged along for the merry fun.
Wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And that's what these youngsters sang as they went from business to business, spreading holiday cheer. 5th grade teacher Morgan Mullen says they definitely put in the work.
They've been practicing these songs for a couple weeks now, so Miss Wilkerson does a great job with them and have kind of prepared them.
Morgan says it's done with the heart and the community deserves it.
We did it to give back to the community because they're always supporting the school and all of the students.
A local restaurant worker says the kids were pitch perfect.
They were great. I mean, they sang great, they sounded great, they behaved well.
She even said the kids left a few gifts of their own.
They left us little notes telling us how much they enjoyed singing for everybody.
Mullen says for the students, caroling outdoors is a great alternative to the classroom.
I love seeing the students get out of the classroom and interacting with the people in the community.
And that's exactly what these 2 young birds think.
I like going around to different places and singing for them.
I love giving back to the community, and I love seeing the smiles on their faces.
And although they may like singing in a group, singing in front of a camera is just not their thing.
No.
You want to great. Okay. Mullen says it keeps the cheer going.
It really does bring some Christmas cheer to the community.
And the community says they're doing a great job. Reporting in McDonald County, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The Southwest City Elementary principal says the kids have received a lot of positive feedback from the community, which I'm sure of. They sounded great, and I'm sure they had so much fun. It was so sweet.
It is so fun, and you can go out to the community, kind of put yourself out there as well, and spread that holiday cheer. That's so sweet. That's exactly what they did.
Absolutely.
Holiday cheer indeed, and holiday weather indeed out there. Very much. Feels like Christmas out there already, although it's not going to feel like that on Christmas Day. So if you like the cold temperatures, enjoy it while it's here. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at those temperatures right now. We're in the lower to mid 20s across the board. Our northwesterly winds are sticking around with us, upwards of 10 to 15 miles per hour consistently. And we're continuing to see those winds pick up, and that's going to bring our feel-like temperatures into the upper single digits to lower teens across the board. So this is really what it feels like right now, and is continuing to do so across the board in the next couple of hours. So for that morning commute and as the kiddos head out to the bus stop this morning, keep that in mind. Even this afternoon, we're going to feel like our temperatures are in the 20s, even though we'll be in the 30s today. And that's because of this wind right here, upwards of 10 to 15 miles per hour, really across the board. So really keep that in mind. Our wind gusts are even up to 30 miles per hour. Now coming up in a bit, we're going to talk more about these winds and how cold the temperatures will be later on this afternoon. I also have your long range forecast. We're talking rain for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. All things you don't want to miss coming up.
All right, Chloe, thanks. Well, some big news for a big nationally known brick and mortar business right here in the 4 states. Now, yesterday, Big Lots announced a previously planned sale agreement has fallen through. The company does, however, say it continues to work on an alternative sale by early January 2025. Now, in the meantime, the company will begin going out of business sales at all remaining store locations to protect its estate's value. Big Lots has stores in both Joplin and Pittsburgh. Well, staff and workers in the Donald E. Clark Justice Center will experience a planned power disruption this morning. That includes Joplin Police Department. And during that time, the public will not have access to the building. Staff will be working with contractors to replace the main electrical switchgear, which dates back to 1967 when the building was constructed. Now, the disruption will not affect police patrol or fire operations. A woman from southeast Kansas is recovering after a serious crash in Jasper County. The crash occurred around 5:50 p.m. Wednesday at West 7th Street and Black Cat Road. Authorities say Brandy Duvall of Joplin was traveling north when she failed to yield and T-boned a vehicle, causing it to overturn. Duvall was arrested at the scene and transported to the Jasper County Jail. Authorities have charged her with felony DWI causing serious physical injury and failure to yield involving a motor vehicle crash. Now, the driver of the T-boned vehicle, a Baxter Springs woman, was transported to a Joplin hospital suffering serious injuries. A letter sent to city employees creates a flurry of discussion concerning the future of unions in Coffeyville, Kansas. The Coffeyville city manager had originally planned to present a recommendation to city commissioners last night about the city's relationship with local unions. But as KOAM's Samantha Walker shows us, his plans changed after receiving backlash from those very unions.
The city manager of Coffeyville says he miscommunicated his plans for unions in a letter sent to city employees. In the letter, the city manager said he would ask the city to reconsider the city's recognition of the Public Employer-Employee Relations Act, also known as PERA. It's a state labor board program that cities or counties choose to be a part of.
There's only 10 cities in Kansas that recognize PERA, but many who still have bargaining units with their employees. And so that was what we were trying to look and see if there's a way that we can do more for our residents quicker, but still take care of employees.
This announcement drew backlash from local unions as union leaders believed it would impact bargaining rights of city employees, including firefighters, police officers, and utility workers. The Coffeyville Firefighters Union says it drew, quote, concerns about the potential long-term effects on job security, employee protections, and community services. The city manager says he was initially surprised by the reaction to his letter, but he says he now understands how miscommunication on his part might have created confusion about his intentions.
That letter came from a 30,000-foot view of how a city manager looks at things, and I think down to the individuals, they were reading things in there that did not translate over to their job, their role, and so we turned it off. As soon as there was a major issue, it's like, okay, let's slow down, let's approach this differently, let's have conversation.
The city manager and union leaders say they are now working together and discussing potential plans to move forward. In a statement to KOAM, one Coffeyville union president says, quote, we believe this resolution reflects the value of collaboration and communication in addressing complex issues.
We have great employees at the city, and I was really excited to continue to work with them. I think they see some of those good changes we're proposing, and they want those too.
Reporting in Coffeyville, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Several community members and union members spoke during the public comment period of last night's city council meeting. Now, they thank the city manager and city officials for the open dialogue now created regarding the union situation and for clarifying what is happening. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, a government shutdown inches closer after another bill was struck down last night. We'll have the latest from Washington. And later, we'll learn how some viruses thrive in colder weather. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Alarming new numbers from the American Medical Association show a dramatic rise in deaths from freezing temperatures over the past quarter century. The latest research showing that an uptick in cold snaps as well as other possible factors have been linked to a doubling of U.S. deaths since 1999. Now, the findings call for more public health interventions to improve access to warming centers and indoor heating for vulnerable populations. Well, California Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a public health emergency over bird flu. The illness has been spreading among dairy cattle in the state. A news release from the governor's office said the action was taken to ensure public agencies have the resources and flexibility they need to respond quickly to the outbreak. It also said the risk to the public remains low. On the eve of a possible government shutdown, Republicans and Democrats could not agree on a new spending bill. Republicans pared back after President-elect Trump weighed in. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the story.
A deal is a deal.
One night before a government shutdown, the House failed to pass a trimmed-down funding bill.
We will regroup and we will come up with another solution, so stay tuned.
The new version stripped away several provisions that Republicans and Democrats had agreed upon, but that was before President-elect Trump and Elon Musk called for it to be cut down.
Put on your big boy pants, pass your own bill. We're only here because you guys can't agree amongst yourselves.
Now Democrats and Republicans are blaming each other for the impending shutdown.
This keeps the government open. What my friends want to do by voting no is effectively to shut it down.
It needed a 2/3 majority to pass, meaning Republicans couldn't pass it alone.
The Musk-Johnson proposal is not serious. It's laughable. Extreme MAGA Republicans are driving us to a government shutdown.
The slimmer bill still contained hurricane disaster relief, aid for farmers, and kept federal agencies running for a few more months. And at Trump's request, it added a suspension of the nation's debt limit until 2027. It lost several components, like a pay raise for members of Congress and covering the full reconstruction of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore. A Pentagon spokesperson says troops will miss their end-of-month paycheck during the holiday season if no funding bill is passed by the Friday deadline. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
And those are our top national stories this morning. Now let's check in with Chloe for a quick look at your forecast.
More sense. There we go. You guys can probably hear me now. Temperatures are in the 20s right now. It's a frigid morning ahead of us. We've got that northwesterly wind along with us, and that's going to continue throughout the mid-morning hours as well. So we're really going to track these temperatures in the 20s as we continue over the next couple of hours. Now, as we have those winds with us, they're consistently upwards of 10 to 15 miles per hour. So expect that over the next couple of hours or so. But our wind gusts upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour. That's making our feel-like temperatures feel like the teens all the way to the single digits, feeling like 8 degrees for Lamar up in Nevada, as well as Stockton, Iola, Yates Center. That's going to continue into the afternoon until we reach, we're going to feel like about 20 or 25 degrees this afternoon. So a chilly afternoon ahead of us. Again, those winds anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour, that northwesterly wind along with us. Wind gusts upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour, and then around 11 o'clock we'll die down to wind gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour. Coming up in a bit, we're going to talk more about these frigid temperatures as well as a calm weekend ahead, and we've got rain chances all throughout next week. I'll have those details. Stick around. Well, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We're still seeing those cold temperatures. We're all under a hard freeze, which is lower than 28 degrees, and we're seeing that all across the 4 states right now. Our lower temperatures in the northwestern counties in southwestern Kansas, Iola, Fort Scott, Yates Center, you guys are still, including Pittsburgh, at 21 degrees. That's your actual temperature, not even your feel-like temperature. It feels like single digits out there, especially for our further northern counties, upper single digits to lower teens. Continuing to see that over the next couple of hours, and then this afternoon, even then, we're going to only feel like we're in the 20s this afternoon. Pittsburgh feeling like 25 this afternoon. Really keep that in mind. That's due to those winds that really beginning to ramp up this morning, going to continue in the early afternoon hours. Right now, we're consistently around 10 to 15 miles per hour, but our wind gusts upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour until about 11 o'clock. We'll die down just a little bit in terms of those winds, upwards of 20 miles per hour. So still a notable wind. But really, the prominent wind will stick around this morning during your work commute and even for that bus stop for the kiddos this morning. So off to school, 23 degrees for your temperatures. We'll have that sunny sky along with us, but that does come with the cost. We've got those winds along with us, 10 to 15 miles per hour consistently, upwards of 25. Some people could see upwards of 30 mile per hour wind gusts coming from the north. Then we'll die down to about 5 to 10 miles per hour later on this afternoon. Temperatures only reaching up into the 30s today, 36 for your high in Joplin. Again, sunny skies throughout your afternoon. So we'll see those 30-degree temperatures all throughout the afternoon. Again, 36 degrees for your high. Those northerly winds will stick around with us throughout the afternoon hours until we get into the evening. We're going to switch off to an easterly wind, but it won't be significant. Will be less than 5 miles per hour before we end up with a calm wind overnight tonight. Now your temperatures are going to reach down into the 20s around 8 p.m. and then we're going to cool down from there on out. Our low tonight in the low 20s, 23 degrees for your low in Joplin. So really that's what we're tracking. Colder temperatures today. We've been talking about it for a while, but really keep in mind this morning into this afternoon, those frigid temperatures. Now your future track, we've been talking about rain for a while as well. We're going to be calm over the weekend until we see our first system push through Monday night into early Tuesday morning, and then that will linger and develop into Tuesday afternoon. That's Christmas Eve. So really keep that in mind for your Christmas Eve plans, and that can linger into Wednesday morning on Christmas Day. On the back end of that, that's Wednesday 10:30 a.m. So really keep that in mind. We'll have a little bit of a break before we see round 2 begin to develop on the back end of that, and that will be some more widespread rain across Thursday afternoon into the evening. That could extend into overnight Friday. But then Friday afternoon, we're going to calm down in terms of rainfall, and then Saturday and Sunday of next week, we're going to calm down completely. Here's a recap of all that. 7-day forecast plus an additional 3 days. We'll see chances for rainfall Monday through Friday of next week. That includes Christmas Eve on Tuesday and Christmas Day on Wednesday before we calm down on Saturday and Sunday. But not our temperatures. Our temperatures are going to reach up into the 60s, well above average for this time of year. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Well, health experts debunk the old saying of don't go outside without a coat or you'll catch a cold. But cold weather does have a connection to a rise in illnesses.
Fox News correspondent Shanley Painter in New York tells us more.
The cold weather often signals the beginning of the holiday season and the flu season. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says hospitals prepare for a rise in illnesses and emergency department visits each winter. Some health experts say the cold weather isn't the main reason for an uptick in illnesses, but it could be part of the problem.
Viruses that cause the flu, COVID-19, the common cold, and RSV can live longer in colder temperatures and replicate faster.
Dr. Libby Richards, a professor at Purdue University, says dry weather during the colder months can also make us more vulnerable to viruses.
When our mucous membranes are dried and impaired, it makes it easier for the viruses to infect us.
Even trying to stay out of the cold could increase your chances of getting sick.
Cold weather also brings people together inside more, often in close contact, which means easier for viruses to spread person to person.
For some, the winter months could mean less time for physical activity as well.
Physical activity is important to keep our immune system healthy.
But colder temperatures aren't the only potential factor in causing illnesses this winter.
We see less daylight in wintertime, and being exposed to the sun is an important source of vitamin D.
Richards says the best way to combat wintertime illnesses is by maintaining good hygiene and staying hydrated. In New York, I'm Shanley Painter, Fox News.
Well, luckily we're having, super cold temperatures. I mean, I know we were a little cold this morning and things like that, but I mean, 'tis the season for illnesses with this kind of weather.
For sure. Yeah, like you said, we've been pretty above average for the month of December, so we haven't had to worry about that too much. So it's really this morning, so it's a perfect time for a story like that. Just as a reminder for folks, like grab that coat.
Yeah.
Really, when I was little, I was told 54 degrees and below, bring that coat, just in case. Really making sure you're doing that. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, coming up, a Neosho World War II veteran will be celebrating his 100th birthday this Christmas. Our very own Anthony Saviello shares his remarkable journey.
Plus, we've still got cold temperatures ahead of us. I'll also have your weekend forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's just coming up on 7:30. I'm Elise Snowy. Another business in southeast Kansas will move in a different direction in the new year. Bath & Body Works has begun work on a new location in Pittsburgh. Now, work crews on the scene say they're doing a rebuild of the interior of the former Yummy Buffet. Now, signs announce the location and how future employees can apply. Bath & Body Works in Pittsburgh says it plans to open early 2025. The Lieutenant Governor of Oklahoma, Matt Pinnell, was in Miami yesterday where he spoke at the final Chamber Connect luncheon of 2024. The event was held at NEO A&M College to encourage economic development in Ottawa County. Pinnell spoke to elected officials, educators, and tribal leaders that were in attendance. Now, one of the fields Pinnell says he sees expanding and bringing jobs to Oklahoma is the aerospace industry. The event was an opportunity to address concerns and gain support on economic development in Ottawa County.
Keep our homegrown boys and girls in these communities, but also help drive some more business to this area of the state, help create more sales tax revenue as well.
The event was hosted by the Miami Regional Chamber of Commerce. Well, second grade students at Columbian Elementary School in Carthage put their business skills to the test yesterday afternoon. Now, students created their own stores within their classroom, then opened up for business. First graders then got the chance to walk around each class and buy from each store.
They take away that they can do things. Things are hard and they have to redo and try again, but most of all that they can do what they set their minds to.
Well, teachers say it's a perfect opportunity to introduce students to the world of economics. Well, some big seasonal news coming out of the Missouri Department of Agriculture. The Show Me State has approved livestock movement permit papers for 9 reindeer. A Mr. Claus from the North Pole applied for the permits, and the reindeer Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and Rudolph have been approved for healthy flight. The department has recommended rations of Missouri hay for the reindeer and milk and cookies for Mr. Claus. Now let's check in with Chloe for a look at the forecast.
Well, those cold temperatures sure feeling like Rudolph season for us. Temperatures in the 20s right now, lower 20s as you head a little further north. Even Iola, their actual temperature, 19 degrees right now. So it's a chilly morning, chilly start to our morning for a lot of the 4 states. Our feel like temperatures, however, even colder, feeling like the single digits in our further northern counties and lower teens as we head into northeastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas. Into the afternoon, we're going to feel like we're in the 20s, so it's going to be a chilly afternoon as well. Will be sunny, but it won't warm us up too much. Now, looking at those winds, we'll see winds consistently right now anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour across the 4 states. Again, that northerly wind bringing in cold air along with it as well. We've got those wind gusts upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour right now, but around 11 o'clock they'll begin to die down just a little bit, so then we'll see our wind gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour. So really continuing to track those hefty winds and colder temperatures really playing with each other, creating a colder wind chill. So off to school this morning, we've got temperatures in the lower 20s. Again, we've got that wind along with us. And then this afternoon, we're only going to reach up into the 30s. So we're going to continue to track that. Now, coming up in a bit, we're going to talk more about this frigid Friday ahead of us. We also have a calm weekend ahead. I'll have the forecast on that. And then we have rain chances next week, which includes Christmas Eve as well as Christmas Day. I'll have that full forecast coming up.
All right, we'll check in with you in just a bit, Chloe. Thanks. Well, Homer Lesueur is a World War II veteran who will celebrate his 100th birthday on Christmas Day. KOAM's Anthony Saviello went to visit him before his big day and shared the stories of life that spans a century.
We left out of there with equal to a broadside.
Homer Lesueur's time is now spent telling the stories of his life, 100 years worth
We went out 4.5 hour mission. 5.5. Got back and thought we was gonna get to land. Darn if they didn't give us another 5.5 hours, so I got 11 hours in the first time I was up.
The World War II vet no longer finds himself in the tail gunner seat of a plane. Instead, it's a recliner, carefully positioned to see the whole room.
And makes you float. It really does.
His perfectly polished shoes are now replaced by a pair of slippers, and his uniform now replaced by a flannel and a warm blanket. 100 years of blessings.
I have been blessed. The Lord spared me, gave me the time to spend here, and I hope I've done what He had in mind for me to do. If I've accomplished that, then I'm a happy trooper.
And memories of ones he lost.
We was getting ready for the wake mission, and he came over and he put his arm around me and he said, "I want you to know I appreciate you and all you've gone through with me." And he said, "I have a lot of respect for you, and I thank you for backing me up." So another 15, 20 minutes, he was gone, bless his heart.
Happy birthday!
He may no longer be in a plane.
Happy birthday to you!
But if you can't tell by his smile,
I appreciate it.
He's still flying high. In Neosho, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Well, Homer was visited yesterday by family and got the chance to meet a few active duty service members. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A grocery store in Minnesota plans to address food insecurities by providing free groceries to families. In Consumer Watch this morning, the TSA says your rush to fly home for the holidays could get snarled in a political mess. Holiday seekers could face longer delays at checkpoints if a government shutdown happens. Now, Congress must agree on a spending measure to fund the government, or else a partial government shutdown begins Friday at midnight. The TSA says it expects to screen about 40 million people through January 2nd. Well, new data from the National Retail Federation shows the shocking jump in retail theft in 2023. Now, shows shoplifting rose 93% in 2023 compared to pre-pandemic times. The NRF says monetary losses for retailers has also risen by 90%. The Retail Trade Group is advocating for the passage of the Combating Organized Retail Crime Act, designed to increase federal coordination with state and local law enforcement to help prevent retail crime. Well, it might not be the most wonderful time of the year for Amazon as it deals with a union strike just days before Christmas. Fox News correspondent Janley Painter is in New York and has more.
As shoppers make last-minute purchases for Christmas, one of the biggest companies in the country could have some issues getting all the presents out on time.
Amazon! Amazon!
Amazon workers with the International Brotherhood of Teamsters at 7 facilities initiated a strike on Thursday after it said the company missed a deadline for contract negotiations.
They refused to do that. They've refused all the other deadlines that we've set for them. So now they've left us with no choice.
Teamsters General President Sean O'Brien says issues with Amazon started prior to the holiday season.
We've been dealing with this company and their games and antics for almost 2.5 years now. Enough's enough.
The Teamsters represent about 10,000 of Amazon's 800,000 workers, but haven't said how many are participating in strikes. Teamsters! Striking members are calling for a new labor agreement to include higher wages.
We want to be able to pay our bills and take care of our families.
Some workers on the picket line say the strike is meant to target the company and not the customers.
We hope everybody gets their packages on time. That's up to Amazon.
Meanwhile, Amazon says the strike will not impact its business and people on the picket lines do not work for the company, but instead are outsiders meant to intimidate their employees.
The of even petitioning NLRB to say that what we're doing is illegal, which it's not illegal.
The Teamsters have not given any indication on when the strike will end and says more locations are prepared to join the picket lines. In New York, I'm Chanley Painter, Fox News.
And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
Well, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. I hope you're bundling up this morning. We're still tracking those cold temperatures, very frigid for your morning. In fact, we're all way below freezing. In fact, we're below the hard freeze range, which is 28 degrees or below. And so you can see all of us are below that 20 degree mark or 28 degree mark right there. Iola, you're in the teens as well. So as you get a little further north and west, those temperatures are a whole lot colder, but feel like temperatures even colder, feeling like the single digits to the lower teens right now. That's going to continue over the next couple of hours until the afternoon. We're going to warm up, but not much. We'll still feel like we're in the 20s, so really bundle up this morning, afternoon, and even into the evening tonight. Now, the reason why our wind chills are so cold is because of that wind really picking up. That's what contributes to that feel like temperature. Our winds anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour right now. So a notable wind outside, but our wind gusts upwards of 25 to 30 miles per hour over the next hour or so. And then around 11 o'clock, we'll slowly start to die down. Our winds will be anywhere from wind gusts upwards of 15 to 20 miles per hour here around lunchtime today. So a chilly and windy start to your morning. That's going to slowly start to taper off in the afternoon, but not by much. As those kiddos are heading off to school, 23 degrees. We also have that northerly wind once again this morning with us. That's going to stick around this afternoon, but slowly start to calm down a little bit. Our northerly wind will be anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour later on this afternoon. Our high, 36 degrees. That's going to continue this afternoon. The sunny skies all throughout the day, though. So we've got that with us at the very least. Those winds are going to continue throughout the afternoon. 36 degrees for your high in Joplin. Later on tonight, we'll see those temperatures slowly start to dip into the 20s by 8 p.m. But we're going to be clear all throughout the night. And our winds, once they shift easterly, that's when we'll start to see them taper off about 5 miles per hour or so. If not, you'll be calm later on tonight and into the overnight hours. Now, your long-term forecast this weekend, we're going to be dry, so you don't have to worry about rain Friday, Saturday, or even Sunday of this week. But tomorrow, or this next week, oh my goodness, Monday morning into the evening, that's when we'll see our first round of rain into Tuesday morning. This is Tuesday afternoon on Christmas Eve. That's when we're going to see round one. That could linger and last until Wednesday morning. That's Christmas Day for you. So we have that chance for rain on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, mainly on Christmas Eve. So really keep that in mind for your Tuesday afternoon plans. Here's round two. On Thursday, we'll see even more showers and storms begin to develop across the 4 states. That could linger into Friday morning. You'll see that push off to the northeast. And then we'll be clear on Saturday and Sunday of next week. So overall, here's your recap of the 10-day forecast. We've got calm conditions this weekend, Saturday and Sunday being pretty seasonable for this time of year. But then we switch gears. We warm up next week. Even for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we'll have chances for rain, but that's every single day of next week, Monday through Friday. Before we calm down next weekend, Saturday and Sunday will be calm and warm for this time of year, 63 degrees for your high on Sunday. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Free, fresh food at no cost and no questions asked. Now that's the mission of a new grocery store in the Twin Cities, and it's expected to serve thousands of families each week.
Barrett Leon was at the grand opening in Maplewood, Minnesota, and shows us how it's helping fill bellies this holiday season and beyond.
It looks like any other grocery store.
So this space is a game changer, and we can't be more excited about what's to come.
But when it comes to checkout at today's harvest, these shoppers aren't spending.
And so we're happy to serve anybody who needs this food, because this food needs them too.
They're getting free, fresh food at no cost or question about it.
That part of the process is so hard for people. So we eliminated that part. People just grab their shopping cart, pick out their items.
Now, today's harvest is expected to serve 3,800 families each week and save 20,000 pounds of food from the trash each month.
We can get that food where it's needed before it spoils, and that's something that helps everybody in our community.
A community that's feeling pressures to make ends meet.
We always know that the food budget is the first to be compromised when a family's weighing their bills.
Leaders in the industry say 2 million more Minnesotans are expected to visit food shelves this year after a record-setting 7.5 million visits in 2023.
Efforts like this, initiatives like this today will help get us there. We have to think differently about our work, and that's what today's about.
Which might mean a push for change at the Capitol.
And all across the state of Minnesota, we understand that there are people who are living with food insecurity, and that with every session in the legislature, we need to continue to pursue solutions.
Well, certainly an incredible effort there to ensure people, and in Minnesota, it's really cold in the winter. So to have fresh, healthy, nutritious food to keep you healthy, which helps keep you safe, is great to see.
Exactly, yeah. And we had run that story earlier about the cold and how it makes you, like, you can get sick from it. So anything that we can do to help people, especially in those areas that are even more cold. So
great to see.
Very much. Well, it's not as cold here. It's still chilly though, so really keep that in mind. Over the next couple of hours, we're still going to be in those below freezing temperatures. So planning out your afternoon, we'll see temperatures in the 30s for your high, but then we're going to dip down into the 20s later on tonight. Clear skies and calm conditions later on tonight. Then we've got a couple of systems that we're tracking over throughout next week. Monday evening is the first round of showers and storms. That will continue through Tuesday and eventually into Wednesday morning on Christmas Day before we see round 2 on Thursday afternoon. That could linger into Friday before we see a break in the pattern on Saturday and in Sunday. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, an active week ahead of us Monday through Friday. Chances for rain including Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The city manager of Coffeyville, Kansas says he will not be presenting a recommendation to city commissioners about the city's relationship with local unions. Now, in the letter, the city manager said he would ask the city to reconsider the city's recognition of the Public Employer-Employee Relations Act. Now, the city manager says he wasn't trying to stop unions in Coffeyville, only the state program. Union leaders say they are now taking part in discussions with the city manager. Well, Big Lots announced a previously planned sale agreement has fallen through. The company does, however, say it continues to work on an alternative sale by early January 2025. Now, in the meantime, the company will begin going out of business sales at all remaining store locations. Big Lots has stores in both Joplin and Pittsburgh. And staff and workers in the Donald E. Clark Justice Center will experience a planned power disruption this morning. Now, that includes the Joplin Police Department. During that time, the public will not have access to the building. The disruption, however, will not affect police patrol or fire operations.
And we've got those temperatures really cold this morning into this afternoon. We're only going to reach into the mid-30s this afternoon. 36 degrees for your high in Joplin today. Sunny skies across your afternoon and even clear skies into this evening. We're only going to see temperatures into the 20s tonight. Once again, a frigid night ahead of us as well, with our lows only in the lower 20s, 23 degrees for your low in Joplin. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We've got rain chances all throughout next week, Monday through Friday. Rain chances, that includes Christmas Eve and Christmas Day before we see a break in that pattern at the end of next week. Saturday and Sunday seeming pretty clear and calm, but on the warm side for this time of year. 63 degrees for your high on Saturday. Not something we always see in the month of December.
Certainly not. Alrighty. Well, Santa Claus swapped his traditional sleigh for a jet ski to deliver presents for children in Rio de Janeiro on Tuesday. Now, NGO Heroes of Love joined forces with the fire brigade to hand out gifts to approximately 50 children and their parents.
And the fire captain said that through this event, her saves lives, but with a different approach. One of joy, renewal, strong spirits, and mental and physical health.
Look at Santa go. Look at him
Yeah,
go.
look at
How
him
fun.
I just love that. It looks like so much fun.
It does. It really does.
Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.